Ownership changing its philosophy. Their defense continues to underwhelm. Their manager isn't on the same page. I mean, there's just so many things wrong with the Red Sox. Their best player has created a garbage culture. Leadership, a problem. It's been a problem. I'm not saying don't be excited. I'm just telling you it's not going to change the organization. So, I mean, if you're looking at this as some sort of line of demarcation, I just don't know why you would do that. This is going to be, the best case scenario right now, you're talking about a honeymoon period that may last for a little bit. Might carry them a little bit of the way if they feel a little rhythm because he comes up and produces. I don't know. But if you're talking about changing the organization and getting back to what you used to be, where you were basically perennially a World Series contender, this move is not going to do that. You need pitching. You need depth. You need a culture shift. You need an energy shift. And you probably need a new manager. With respect to Alex Cora, it's time. That's what you're going to need. Okay? I'm excited. I'm more excited than if he wasn't playing Roman. He has a fun name that we can play off of. The Roman Empire. Whatever the Roman this. Like, you can do that and have fun and create little things. That's not going to change the organization. And I look forward to it. I look forward to his career. I'd love a Roman Anthony auto card, a Bowman, something like that. I'm excited about what he could offer, but he's not going to change the organization. And he's not going to be Griffey. He's not going to be Trout. He doesn't play that level of defense. He might be a bat. Best case scenario, he's Bryce Harper. Best case scenario. And what did Bryce Harper do for various organizations? He's been good on the Phillies. They've made playoff runs. They haven't won. The year he walked away from the Nationals, they won. Okay? That's because in baseball, it's about the organization. It's about the organizational structure and the culture and the philosophy and how they do things. And the Red Sox have fallen far from where they need to be. Analytics play a role. Ownership plays a big role. Their inability to draft starting pitchers for 20 years plays a big role. They have not been good enough. They've changed their philosophy. They don't spend. That's what needs to change. All the other stuff, not good enough. So, sorry. I don't mean to, throw cold water all over this. I'm looking forward to it. I am. I got the game on. I'm looking forward to it. I hope he hits in the first inning. I hope he hits a tank. I just don't think it's going to change the game. Change the game for the Red Sox. Might change this game tonight. It's not going to change things for the Red Sox. And I think the whole thing's been over. I mean, it's just pathetic what it's come to. You know what I mean? It's come to this where we're just sitting, waiting for this child, this man-child. He's a man now. But in baseball terms, he's a kid. Never played in the big leagues. And we're just waiting for him to come up and acting like we're going to watch him save the franchise. Shame on the Boston Red Sox for getting to a point where we're waiting for a 21-year-old to come up and save the franchise, a left fielder to save the franchise. Ready to save the franchise, Roman? The Roman era? I mean, that's just asking way too much of a prospect. Great prospect. I hope he hits 3 home runs tonight. Here he goes. He's taking the field. Looks great. What number is he? 40 what? 48? 48. That's gross. Give him a number. For crying out loud, he's the top prospect in baseball. Should you give him a real number? 24, 26. Give him a real number. 48. Sucks. I'm rooting for him. I just don't think, the Red Sox, what evidence do you have to show me that they're going to turn it around? They've been 500 for years. They have led the league in errors for now going on years, and that includes this year. They've got all types of kids playing, which is exciting, which is intriguing. But in terms of long-lasting success and winning this year in the now, that's not realistic. So, and I feel like until they get an actual rotation together, it's nice they got an ace. They're never going to be where I want them to be. But he looks good. He looks good. What position? I thought he was playing. Is he playing right field, Roman? He's playing right field. He's a left fielder. He's playing right field, which is fine. And I'm all right. The fact that he's not going to be Griffey or one of these elite defenders is fine with me. I don't need him to be. I mean, Manny Ramirez, obviously he's not going to hit like Manny Ramirez, but he wasn't a good left fielder, and it was fine. And a lot of times it was fun along the way. I mean, my favorite play in Red Sox history was when he made the cutoff of Johnny Damon's throw against Baltimore. That's one of the greatest plays in baseball history. Diving cutoff. I mean, what was that? I loved it. So he's got the scouting report. He's ready to go. Got called up at what time? 3:00. Hightailed it down, the pike. Got to Fenway, ready to go. And now he's in right field, and here we go. So, Roman Anthony will keep you posted. We're rooting for him. I can't wait to see what he does. I'm rooting for him hard. I don't want you to think I'm not rooting for him. I'm rooting my tail off for this kid. I want him to succeed. I just don't think it's going to change the organization. The guy on the mound tonight would have had a better chance of changing the organization if he didn't get his head in his ass so many times in his first however many starts. And he's been completely unreliable. That's what I was looking for. It just hasn't worked. So, a long way to go for the Red Sox, but at least they got the 3 kids up, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be at least interesting here while they hover a little bit below 500 and try to hang on here in the American League East and in the American League playoffs. So, Roman Anthony will keep you posted. He's up there. He's playing for the Sox, and I'm excited about it. I just don't think they're going to change it's not going to change the team this year. So I guess I'm not excited about it. I'm rooting for him. I'll put it that way. I'm not excited because I know it's not going to change the team. I'm rooting for him. And if he comes through, in the long term, you could talk about something productive, but until then, I need to see more, and I need to see a lot of things change. And it's just, I don't have the confidence that that's going to happen. 617-779-0985. You want to make a phone call, make a comment, do it now. We don't have a ton of time. We're going to be airing the Stanley Cup final. Unbelievable series going on between the Oilers and the Panthers. Marshy. You rooting for Brad Marchand? We can make a comment on that. I didn't talk about that. I haven't talked about that recently. With the game coming up, we can talk about that a little bit. I have a Patriots thought on Stephon Diggs in their wide receiver room. 617-779-0985. I'm with Skaz, Joe Murray Show, Mark Dondero, 98.5, The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
rooting against him. I guess that's not the best take. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm not rooting against him. It's just kind of a nothing burger for me. I don't care if he wins. I'm not going to be upset if he wins. It's fine. If he's able to win I don't have feelings on it. I don't think that the Boston Bruins were equipped to have a guy like that as their leader. I think he is in a much better place in Florida, being down on the third line and sort of just a contributing veteran than some centerpiece that he had to be here in Boston. And they were much better equipped to handle whatever he was going to bring to their team than the Bruins were. I think that their captain, that was not a good situation. So the Bruins absolutely should have made that trade. I do not hold it against the organization, really, that he is having success down there that he didn't have here. And I don't really care if he wins. That's fine if he goes and wins another cup. I'll be happy for him. I'm not rooting for it. I'd probably, if you really wanted to take, I'd probably tell you I'm rooting for Connor McDavid to get a Stanley Cup, just because I think it's good for the sport when the top guy is winning the championship. I think that's good for the sport, and I root for sports to be in a good place, especially hockey. I think it's good for the sport. So I'm rooting for him. But I just don't think what he did here, Marchand, was enough to warrant not trading him or trying to extend him or anything crazy like that. It was not a good situation. His leadership was not good enough. It had run its course. He was not playing well enough to be a centerpiece on this team, which he was still sort of seen as, and just not good enough. So, all the way around, I think the Bruins absolutely should have made the trade. Now they're going to get a first-round pick. Nice job. He was not doing anything for you. Sure, I would love for a guy like that to be able to retire as a member of the Bruins, but whatever. This was a better move. If there could be legends, I'm always for a legend retiring with the team that he started with, especially if it's a hometown guy. And by hometown, I mean he played in the team for the team that I root for, but this was a situation you had to make the trade. Kevin is in Drake. Hey, Kev. Kev.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
I was here to talk about Roman Anthony,
yeah.
The future of the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really just don't agree with how can we, we're not excited about this. I mean, when was the last time that we called up a guy with this much hype? And at this point, with our team we have now, I mean, we're going to get things rolling. We just beat the Yankees. The Sox have lost 17 one-run games, most in the MLB. You look at our division right now in the AL East. We won 8 of those games, and we're tied with the Yankees.
Yep.
Maybe a half a game back if you look at our record. And that's with us underperforming. I mean, this season has been nothing but disappointing, for sure. We have all these young guys. We're looking for a first baseman once Cassis went down. Everyone's pissed at Devers. Devers starts playing pissed off. 30 RBIs in May. Last time that happened when the Red Sox was what? David Ortiz?
Yep, he's been playing well.
No, yeah. And this team, it's, now's the time to put it together. You can do great in April. You can do great in May, but it doesn't matter. We still got, 100 games left in this season?
Sure.
This is the time to put it together. I mean, come on. Abraham Toro steps in. He's hitting 340. I mean, we need another electric guy in this offense. With Roman Anthony hitting 497-foot home runs, how do we not get excited about this guy?
It's a nice thought, Kevin. I just think it's deeper than that. I just don't think it's going to change the team. And that's why I'm not as excited. Of course, I'm excited if they have a top prospect, a position player that has a big bat that could come up and really put on a show and hit these mammoth home runs and these tape measure jobs. I'm all for that. I just don't think it's going to change the organization. They have too many things wrong with them. And I just think it's too easy to get intoxicated by talent or a lineup and not consider the real problems that the team is facing. Culture, leadership, that's a real problem. They don't have it. Pitching, real problem. So you're talking about, if they just win this game or they just pull out this one-run game. Well, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they have the leadership, the culture, the intuition. None of that exists for this team. So that's fine. That's just my position on this. If you feel like you want to become blinded by their prospects and now their young major league talent and really start to look at the lineup and say, well, hey, they have a good lineup, we could do it. Yes, maybe if this was February 23rd, I would buy into that. But the season has started, and they have shown all of their warts. They have shown the culture, the fractures, everything. And when I look at that, the talent isn't going to be enough to turn it around. And that's if the talent is enough. We don't even know that. We don't even know how Roman Anthony's going to do. I'm rooting for them and him. I despise the fact that by my and I understand, I accept it, but I despise the fact my saying this makes it come off like I'm not rooting for them. I'm rooting for them, genuinely. But I don't think that what they're going to be able to do is change the game because this 21-year-old hot prospect comes up. I think the best case scenario, there's a honeymoon period, and because of that, they get back into the mix. But if you're talking about an actual philosophical or cultural change that's going to turn them into a real contender, absolutely not. They have too many fractures. There are too many problems with this team that aren't going to be able to get fixed because Roman Anthony is now up. And we don't even know how good he's going to be. We have no idea. I mean, he might be a great player, but might suck this year. He might be a great player this year and not end up being that good. So, a lot of questions. A lot of questions about where this team's going and what they're going to be able to do. Because I just don't see it. So I'm rooting for Roman Anthony. I'm not rooting for Brad Marchand. Not against them. I legitimately have no feelings on if he wins or not. I think he maxed out what he could do here. I don't think he didn't care. So there's no animosity there. I think he did everything he could for the Boston Bruins. I just don't think the fit, based on what they needed, was something he could offer. And it showed. He was never a good leader. He was never a good captain. A lot of people said that. A lot of people had skepticism about his ability to lead, myself included. I've been trying to figure out for years why they never could win another cup. I think that was an example as to why. Just wasn't enough leadership and not enough depth. They didn't have enough depth consistently on some of those lower lines. But, I mean, it's a great series for hockey. I'm all for it. I don't care that it's a rematch. Great series for hockey. You got two teams. They've been going to, overtime. Absolute classics. If you don't like McDavid, you're an a-hole. If you don't like watching him, I mean, just being a fan of sport should be good enough for you to watch Connor McDavid. I mean, he is so good. It's just so easy on the ice to watch him dangle and skate and use his hands on the ice. Let's get another call. Pat is in Franklin. Hey, Pat.
Mark,
hey.
I love you, man. You agree with all my takes. I tell my wife this all the time. However, I'm going to say this. Think small to medium picture on this Roman Anthony thing, dude. It's kind of like, think about when, remember when Clemens came up? It's like, the team kind of stunk, but you never knew, right? It's just, this is kind of fun. I might actually get Nesson back.
Okay.
I might get Nesson back.
All right. I mean, that's a statement there, Pat. I mean, I'm glad it's not fun. I'm not. Anytime there's a hot prospect on your team with all the hype associated with his name and he's produced at every level of the minor leagues, yes, of course you're interested. But again, I don't know how you could just look at that in a vacuum and declare that, okay, we're good, I'm going to get Nesson back. This team has not earned you buying Nesson back, in my opinion. You make your own decision. I'm not telling you what to do. They have not, they have been negative. They have done things that have been unacceptable. Their best player has made bad decisions and created a bad culture. And again, he's a good prospect. Clemens, I don't remember when Clemens came up. That might have been before I was born. But he was an ace. He was a starting pitcher ace horse. So I think that's a position that's more capable of changing an organization than a left fielder, as good as he may be. And again, we know he's not going to be those guys I've mentioned, Griffey, Trout. He doesn't have that type. He's not a 5-tool player. Now, the tool he has is the most important tool. And I'm not saying I'm not excited. I'm excited. Or I'm intrigued, interested. But if you're talking about changing the team, which is what we all want, that has to start at the ownership level. That has to be, get away from analytics. It has to be the best player can lead a little bit. Has to be a culture within the organization. The clubhouse culture has to be better. They have to get pitching, depth, bullpen, drafting guys, home guys. Like, there's too many things. That's the reality. 617-779-0985. Mark Dondero. Let's get a headlines. Just Joe Murray's show. Mark Dondero in for Joe.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Roman Anthony making his debut for the Red Sox tonight. He is coming up. We'll keep you posted. Sox and Rays currently scoreless. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Series tied at 1 game apiece. NBA.
adjustment been like to Josh and the offense? How's that coming for you, other than the world fell into a panic when you supposedly threw 4 interceptions on that first?
Shoot. I think it's feeling good. I think kind of catching the stride. Just trying to get as many reps out there as possible. I think you got to take the meetings and what you learn from, when you do get a chance to run the plays, just take it and take it the next time you run it. I think it's all the same concepts in the league, but it's different wordage, different verbiage. Same guys, mostly same guys run them, but just kind of feeling out kind of how they run it and timing and just kind of getting a different concept. So I think it's been good. I think I'm starting to kind of really kind of find a stride. I'm kind of bummed out we're about to leave, but no, it's fun. Anytime we're going against a great defense, they got good players, 2 great corners. I tell Gonzo every day I'm gonna test them. I'm not gonna not throw at them or CD. 2 of the, I think the best corners and one of the best duos in the league. What an opportunity for us to go out there every day and throw against those guys.
Best receiver on the Patriots this year. That's my take on Stephon Diggs. I do not think he's going to be the best receiver on the New England Patriots this year. The question will be, is it because he's going to have a poor season? Or is it more because somebody else rises and steps up their game and as a result just has a better year and outperforms them? I think that's going to be the case, to be honest with you. I think Stephon Diggs will have a nice season. I'm not down on his. I'm not down on the signing, the acquisition at all. But I do think with Drake May and with Josh McDaniels, and maybe I'm putting a little bit too much on Josh McDaniels here, I do think they're going to find a way to resurrect that slot receiver position. I do think Pop Douglas is going to benefit from that. If he stays healthy, he is going to benefit from that, and I think he's going to be the best receiver on the Patriots this year, and I think he's going to outperform Stephon Diggs, even though I do think Diggs will play well. There's my take. Pop Douglas outperforms Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs does not end up the best receiver on the New England Patriots this year. That's my take. Here's another one. And I understand why we have to do it. We have a show to do today. And it was a story. I'm not saying it wasn't a story. It absolutely was a story. That is not what I'm saying. The pink bag of whatever that was. Pink, purple bag. What was Joe Murray's thing? Or not Joe, Jim Murray's thing?
Pink bag of drugs?
Pink bag of drugs. Yeah, that one. That was a story. That was a big deal. In context. But what I want to say is that is not, and it's going to sound ridiculous, it's not as big a deal for a team like the New England Patriots. So it's bad. You don't want your top wide receiver signing to be making questionable decisions off the field. Anytime an NFL player is on a boat with women, I'm out. Okay, I just feel like that's the ultimate curse. Stay off of boats with women. For whatever reason. I never shook that Giants thing that they did back 10 years ago when they were humming. They got on the boat and it all crumbled. I felt like the organization hasn't been the same since. So I'm not for boats and boat parties for NFL wide receivers. But I think that situation specifically is more of a problem for a team that is a true contender. I'm not saying it's not a problem for a team that's trying to be on the come up like the Patriots. But I think for a team that's a true contender, it's more of a problem. Because something like that could fracture the locker room culture. If you haven't guessed, I'm a big culture guy. I really believe in the culture of a team in terms of their ability to win a championship. If the culture isn't right, you're not going to win it. So I'm big on that. If you're talking about a team that can win a championship, the culture, their MO, all those things matter. We talk about it with the Celtics all the time. Toughness, defense, mental toughness, how they win games, what they're prone to doing, all those things matter. And I think for a situation where the wide receivers partying with women, pink bag of drugs, if you're a championship contender, that right there could be the thing that derails it. Doesn't take much. That one little thing, and I shouldn't call it a little thing, that thing could derail it. If the Patriots see the worst case scenario unfold where that was drugs, he gets suspended, that's not good, but you already got a lot of problems. You're still trying to come up. You're still trying to, it's bad. I'm not saying it's not bad. It's going to affect Drake May. It's going to affect your ability to evaluate him. It's going to make a questionable decision more questionable by bringing in a guy like Stephon Diggs. All those things. It's not good. But it's not going to be the one thing that cost you a championship. Where if you were Tom Brady 10 years ago and something like that happened to one of your top wide receivers, you'd be worried that that's the thing that cost them the ability to win it all. Patriots aren't there. I think a situation like that is worse for a team that's a true contender. So I like the Stephon Diggs signing. I think he's a good locker room guy in terms of what he does to prepare for football games. I don't know about his example as a leader off the field, but in terms of preparing for football games, he's a good locker room guy. He knows how to prepare to be a productive wide receiver in the NFL. So that's good. Okay? That's good. He just needs to find a way to stay productive, and the Patriots need to find a way to get other people to rise their level of play. Or raise their level of play. And then they'll be really in a good spot. If they can do that, they'll be in a good spot because, and I think they have the chance. I think they have the infrastructure in place, the quarterback, the coach, and a guy that I still don't understand why people just shove aside Pop Douglas. I don't get it. I'm not some wide receiver coach, but every time I see him try to do something, more often than not, good things happen. I'm a fan of that player. I like that player. I think he's going to be their best receiver this year, and I think he outdoes Steph Diggs. And I think if that happens, that's the best case scenario for the Patriots. We'll see, but that would be the best case scenario for the Patriots. 617-779-0985. Mark Dondero in for Joe Murray on The Joe Murray Show.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening.
Roman Anthony popped up to left field in his first at bat. It's fine. Stanley is in Taunton. Stanley, how are you?
Great. Yourself?
Great.
So, I'm going to be quick with this one take, and then I'm going to get to the real take. Jason Tatum's on the hex bar squatting or deadlifting 495 pounds on Instagram per Torrey Craig. How do you feel about that? Number two, as a Bostonian, just a fanatic of all Boston sports except the New England Revolution, the Red Sox have a chance to win the division because the Yankees ain't crap. Dude, their pitching is terrible. You saw it last night. The division is ours to lose. This is the month that we got to do our thing. What do you think about that?
Well, this is the month they have to do something. I don't understand why am I not being clear enough? I don't think they have the infrastructure to do it. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, the talent is there. They should have enough talent to make noise and even make a playoff run. I was all kinds of buying in early in the season, but I'm just saying they don't have the infrastructure. I don't think they have it. They don't have leadership. They don't have the pitching. They don't have any ability to win close games for the most part. I mean, I know you can't put it in a stat. And these things, you can look at the lineup and look at the names and be like, there's no reason why they... Well, there is a reason. There is a reason. Just because they have the talent doesn't mean championship or they're going to contend. Doesn't matter. There's too many other things that they don't do well. There's too many other problems. They don't play defense well enough. They don't get enough timely hits. Like I said, we're not even talking about their inability to win close games because there's too many other factors. Analytics, ownership, lack of spending, pitching. The rotation isn't good enough. There's nobody you trust beyond Crochet, and when Crochet is pitching well, they have trouble winning those games. I get it if you're just sitting back looking at the talent would say yes. They have the talent to make a run. They have the talent to do this, and the Yankees pitching, fine. But the Yankees, their pitching might not be as good as they're being made out to be, but do they have any infrastructure that's causing them to lose games? Is their culture causing them to lose games? Is their best player creating a negative vibe within the clubhouse? Is their team not with their organization, their ownership not willing to spend, which has created a culture of losing where the players in the clubhouse are used to losing and even subconsciously think they're going to lose? Are any of those things problems for the Yankees because they're problems for the Red Sox? So if you want to go, player by player and look at the roster and the roster only, well, yeah, you can make that point. But I think there are too many other things at play beyond the roster that is going to cause the downfall of the Red Sox this year. And that is why I do not have a lot of optimism they're going to be able to turn it around. It's not as simple as just that guy's good, that guy can hit. There is more things at play, more to it. More to a team dynamic, an organizational dynamic. I wish it were simpler, but it isn't. So, that's where we're at. I don't know. What did he say about Tatum? What was that point on Jason Tatum? Deadlifting? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I that's not true.
What did he say? He's already lifting?
He said Torrey Craig posted something of Tatum deadlifting 400 plus pounds, which isn't true. Torrey Craig posted a picture of Jason Tatum laying on the table today. He just came back to Boston to check on him. So I have no idea what he was talking about.
Torrey Craig is checking on him.
Yeah.
I look, the Celtics have decisions to make. I think they do have the infrastructure in place to make those decisions. I think they do have a good culture, and Brad Stevens, I trust to do this. If they had to go back into the draft, it would be a different situation, but they don't have to do that. I think Brad, and you look at the teams in the NBA Finals, the way they're built, I mean, think about it. I know that Jalen Williams was a third-team All-NBA player, so this is a little bit unfair. And you know what? I'm going to give him respect. They have a 1-2 punch. SGA, Jalen Williams, that's a 1-2 punch. The Pacers, now I like Pascal Siakam. I do. But I don't know, 1-2 punch. That's not the strongest 1-2 punch I've ever seen. They have a good deep team. They're steely. They're mentally tough, and that's why they are where they are. Halliburton has played great in these playoffs, but the Celtics are right there. If they can find a way to change their MO and win a couple close games, and make that more of what they do, they will be right there. They just need to get to that point. And they're not there now. They're not there now, and we've talked about it for a long time, and now it's on center stage in the NBA Finals with what the Pacers are doing. I don't think they're going to win the series, but they literally made their money in these playoffs by winning those close games, the games the Celtics can't win. So there's a lot of things that they need to figure out if they ever want to win a championship again. They'll always be good with Tatum and Brown. But if you're talking about winning a championship again, I would figure it out. It will be interesting to see how they approach next season. Now, what I would do, I would not surrender next year, because even if they do, I don't think they'd have the draft pick. They wouldn't be bad enough where they'd be atop the draft. Even if they didn't make the playoffs, they'd be really high in the lottery. And I understand the Mavericks won the lottery this year, but I don't think that would be worth it. What I would do is plan as if you're going to get Jason Tatum back. I mean, he had the surgery quickly. He's a young kid. He can still heal. He's not a kid, but he's a young guy, still young enough he can heal. Plan to get him back. Don't rush him back, but you can get him back by March and try to make a little run. I mean, you got enough veteran leadership on the team. I'm not saying you have to run it back. I think they should trade Drew Holiday. If they could trade Kristaps Porzingis and do something, find new players. That's why I trust Brad Stevens. But I think you don't just give away next year. All right? All right, we're getting ready. We're going to air the Stanley Cup Final Game 3 tonight. One of the